Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox, and today we are talking about horror gaming on the original Xbox. Just like in movies, there's a unique thrill in being scared within the safe confines of a video game. Horror and gaming go hand in hand, and I'm one of those gamers who love the spine-tingling experiences that horror games offer. Today, we are exploring 5 horror games on the original Xbox. I've handpicked these titles randomly to provide a diverse selection from potential gems to not so great ones. The Xbox had its fair share of horror games, and I'm here to shed some light on them. If I missed any of your favorites, don't hesitate to share them in the comments. Maybe they'll make it into a future video. So buckle up for a spooky journey through the world of horror games on the original Xbox. Kicking off our list of classic horror games is Fatal Frame. This spine-tingling title made its debut on the original Xbox on November 27, 2002, nearly a year after its initial release on the PS2. Developed by Tecmo and published by Microsoft Game Studios in North America, the Xbox version is considered a special edition of the original, boasting various enhancements like new ghosts, improved graphics, and an added difficulty level after completing the game. Fatal Frame plunges players into the eerie confines of a haunted mansion set in 1980s Japan. You assume the role of Miku, a character on a quest to find her missing brother within a house steeped in a sinister history of murder and sacrifice. As you navigate this chilling environment, malevolent ghosts lurk around every corner. Your only defense at your disposal is a camera. If you're in the mood for a genuinely scary gaming experience, Fatal Frame is the perfect way to immerse yourself in this eerie ambiance. The game exudes a distinct style, from its haunting sound design featuring constant background noises and unsettling music, to its deliberately cryptic narrative that encourages players to uncover the ghost's dark origins. It's a title that deliberately crafts a specific mood and does so masterfully. What truly sets Fatal Frame apart is its unique camera-based combat system. Your primary weapon against the relentless spirits is your camera, and engaging them requires you to focus your lens directly on their faces. The longer you maintain your focus, the more damage you inflict. But it's a precarious proposition, as it often necessitates moving slowly or standing still while terrifying apparitions rush towards you. Adding to the game's depth are the well-designed ghosts, each with their own distinct backstory. Fatal Frame isn't all about constant action. It's a slow-paced journey through the mansion's cramped corridors. Along the way, you'll need to solve puzzles, all the while wondering what spectral presence might manifest through the walls. Playing Fatal Frame recently, I can confidently say it's one of my all-time favorite horror games. I appreciate a game that can establish and maintain a mood throughout its entirety. This title is not just interesting and enjoyable to play, it's downright eerie and comes highly recommended for any horror game enthusiast. Next on our list is Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth, which hit the original Xbox on October 24th, 2005, a year before its PC release. Developed by Headfirst Productions and published by Bethesda and 2K on the Xbox, this game draws its inspiration from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, piquing the interest of Lovecraftian horror fans. While I must admit that Lovecraftian horror isn't my personal favorite, I can set that bias aside and appreciate this game for what it is, a unique and daring psychological horror experience. What sets Call of Cthulhu apart from other games on our list is that it's a first-person shooter. However, it takes an unconventional approach, making you question your sanity all along the way. Notably, there is no heads-up display in this game, meaning you must rely on memory to track your bullet count, and ammunition is scarce, a hallmark of most survival horror games. Consequently, you'll often find yourself scavenging for precious bullets just to fend off these nightmarish enemies. Additionally, gazing upon horrifying sights can erode your character's sanity, leading to unsettling visions during your gameplay. What truly intrigues me about this game is its fusion of first-person gameplay with a heavy emphasis on detective work. Set in the 1920s, you assume the role of a detective tasked on locating a person. Without delving into spoilers, I can say that the storyline takes some mind-bending twists. As you progress, you'll uncover various clues and piece it all together to solve the mystery. This aspect of solving mysteries in a horror-infested world is really captivating, as it shifts the focus away from confronting monstrosities and towards unraveling the enigma of the monstrosities. The game's world is masterfully crafted, shrouded in darkness, and adorned with a film grain aesthetic. Everything feels unsettling, and the characters you encounter are grotesquely proportioned, contributing to the overall sense of unease. While this isn't the type of horror that will have you jumping out of your seat, it excels at making you feel uncomfortable, a distinctive style in itself. If you have an affinity for detective games, Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth seamlessly melds the detective genre with horror, creating a captivating and unique blend of two styles. This Xbox and PC exclusive is a must-try for those seeking a different kind of horror experience. The third game on today's list is beloved by many, and it happens to be one of my all-time favorites, and that's Silent Hill 2. Originally released in September of 2001 for the PS2, it made its way to the Xbox on December 19th, 2001. Published by Konami and developed by Team Silent, Silent Hill 2 is unsettling. But what truly distinguishes this title and the franchise as a whole is that it's less about the horror of the city and more about a disquieting exploration of your inner demons. It's a profoundly melancholic game, and that in itself is horrifying to me, particularly when juxtaposed with the eerie, fog-laden city of Silent Hill. In Silent Hill 2, you step into the shoes of James Sunderland, a man who has received a letter from his deceased wife. To uncover the truth, he embarks on a journey through Silent Hill, a city where your inner fears and guilt materialize into a nightmarish reality. The streets are teeming with grotesque creatures, and an impressive fog envelops the entire game world. The visual design of this game is nothing short of iconic, veiling it in an ever-present fog that turns every corner into a new mystery. Anything could be lurking in the shadows. Playing like a typical survival horror game of that era, you explore the environment, solve puzzles, and attempt to navigate the unsettling city. The city itself, along with all the characters inhabiting it, is exquisitely crafted, showcasing Team Silent's unwavering commitment to setting the mood. The gameplay is solid, and every time I start this game up, I can't help but get excited, despite knowing it's going to make me feel profoundly sad. Yet I find it admirable that a game can evoke such emotions, especially when it explores the idea that the most horrifying things may be rooted in our own past. It's a game all about mood and storytelling. Don't expect an action-packed experience here, it just invites you to settle in and become immersed in this world. Silent Hill 2 also boasts an incredible soundtrack. You've probably heard me use it many times in the background of my videos, and that's because it's exceptionally good. Akira Yamaoka crafted one of the best original soundtracks in the industry, featuring eerie ambient tracks to punchy guitar riffs. It covers a broad spectrum of emotions, effectively maintaining the atmosphere throughout the entire game. This is a game that deserves a deep dive at some point, but if you never played it, I urge you to do so in any way you can, except for the Xbox 360 port. It's worth your time and stands as one of the most significant, not only in the horror gaming genre, but in the realm of gaming as a whole. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to leave a like, it really helps out the channel. Also consider subscribing if you haven't already to keep up with the retro Xbox content. But moving on, next up we have Obscure, which was released on April 6, 2005 for both the PS2 and Xbox. It was published by Dreamcatcher Interactive and developed by Hydravision Entertainment. This game falls into the traditional survival horror genre, and it was actually my first experience with it. What I found was a unique take on the high school horror setting. Obscure unfolds at Leafmore High, where you get to switch between multiple teenagers as they search for their missing friend. What sets this game apart is its occasional embrace of a 90s horror movie vibe, complete with rock tracks sung by real artists and some classic teenage hijinks. It's the most fun setup among the games I'm discussing today. The primary drawback of this game, though, is its obvious budget limitations. It doesn't look bad, but it's not outstanding, and some of the camera angles are poorly placed, in my opinion. However, I appreciate the graphical detail put into the school environment. I can't believe how this high school is designed. It feels like a labyrinth with a lot to explore and pick up along the way. One of the most interesting aspects is the ability to switch between multiple characters, each with different strengths. You can team up with specific members to solve puzzles in various ways. The combat is also quite enjoyable, employing a mechanic similar to what we later saw in Alan Wake, where strong lighting is used to harm the infected students that roam the hallways. I've always liked this approach because it emphasizes the darkness in the game and makes the darker spaces stand out more. Obscure isn't really for everyone, and I wouldn't really call it a must play. It has a fun story, and the combat and character switching mechanics are solid though. However, you'll need to overlook some camera issues and occasional movement quirks. It's an enjoyable experience overall, especially if you're a fan of 90s horror movies, and it features some really good voice acting in it. Just don't expect something groundbreaking. To wrap up our list, we have Cold Fear, published by Ubisoft and developed by Darkworks. It hit the shelves on March 15th, 2005. And if you've been watching the gameplay so far, you've probably noticed that it bears a striking resemblance to Resident Evil 4, pretty much in the way the main character moves and handles firearms. It's worth noting that Cold Fear came out just a few months after Resident Evil 4, so any similarities are more likely a coincidence than anything else. That being said, if you're familiar with the style of Resident Evil gameplay, you'll feel right at home here. Shooting the zombie-like creatures is satisfying, and the controls and movement are spot on. In Cold Fear, you assume the role of a member of the Navy SEALs, tasked with investigating a Russian ship infested with zombie-like monstrosities. While the game may not be the epitome of fear-inducing horror, it excels in its setting. The attention to detail aboard the ship is nothing short of remarkable. As you navigate its labyrinth layout, you'll explore various rooms with intriguing enemy placements. However, it's the exterior sections that truly shine. The relentless storms batter the ship with rain effects obscuring your vision and waves slamming against the vessel, causing you to lose your balance and slip all around. Here, the real horror emerges as you have no control over your environment. It becomes a battle against both the elements and the zombie-like creatures. Cold Fear is a visually impressive game with solid audio design. The storm noises are really effective. The game also introduces an ammo shortage, mainly because you don't have an inventory to stock up on ammo. The ammo you find is all you get, which adds to the fear of running out of resources. This game might be the most overlooked gem on our list today, waiting to be discovered. It plays exceptionally well, offering an enjoyable shooter experience in a captivating environment. While it might not be the scariest game on the list, it's undeniably a ton of fun at the same time. And that concludes our journey through these selected horror game titles on the original Xbox. We've touched upon some classics and unearthed a few hidden gems. Whether you found a dose of nostalgia or a new recommendation, I hope you enjoyed today's list. Rest assured, there's much more to explore, and I plan to revisit this topic in the future. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing so you can stay up to date on more retro Xbox content. Let me know what you want me to play next, but I'll see you here next time, here at Camp Xbox.